3 first-round picks, a 2-time Coleman medalist, and a friendship tested by the ruthless reality of professional footy. G'day Swans fans, if you love this club like I do, smash that subscribe button because what I'm about to tell you is one of the most traumatic trades in recent AFL history, and it involves us landing one of the game's most lethal forwards. Charlie Curnow is a Sydney Swan. Let that sink in for a second. The bloke who kicked 75 goals in 2023, the player who terrorised defences across the competition for the better part of a decade, the face of Carlton's forward line. He's ours now. On trade deadline day, the Swans pulled off what can only be described as a blockbuster, landing Curnow in exchange for Will Haywood, Ollie Florent, and 3 first-round draft picks. It's the kind of deal that sends shockwaves through the entire league, the kind of move that makes you stop scrolling and think, did that just happen? The Swans supporters, it's exhilarating. We've just added a genuine superstar to an already formidable forward line. But for Carlton fans, absolute heartbreak. And caught right in the middle of it all is Patrick Cripps, Carlton's captain, Curnow's best mate, and the man who had to watch his closest friend walk out the door. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back. Charlie Curnow didn't just wake up one morning and decide to leave Carlton. This was brewing for a while, and the signs were there if you knew where to look. Think about it. Curnow's 28 years old, he's in his prime, and he's just come off back-to-back Coleman medals in 2022 and 2023. He should be untouchable, the kind of player you build a dynasty around. But behind the scenes, things were different. Carlton had been knocking on the door of success for years. They'd made finals, they'd won some big games, but they couldn't break through. The ultimate prize kept slipping away. And for a player like Curnow, who'd given everything to the Navy Blue, you could sense the frustration building. He wanted a premiership. He wanted it now. And maybe, just maybe, he started to wonder if it was going to happen at Princes Park. Then there's the Sydney angle. The Swans had just come off another deep finals run. They've got the culture, they've got the system, and they've got a list that's primed for a flag. When you're a forward like Curnow, that's the kind of environment that makes you think twice about where your future lies. Word started circulating in October that Curnow had requested a trade. At first it seemed unthinkable. Surely Carlton would shut it down. Surely they'd convince him to stay. But as the trade period wore on, it became clear this wasn't just speculation. Charlie Curnow genuinely wanted out. And here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't some messy divorce. This wasn't a player burning bridges or a club throwing someone out the door. Behind closed doors, conversations were happening between two clubs that actually respect each other. Sydney wanted Curnow, Carlton knew they couldn't keep an unhappy star, and somewhere in between, Patrick Cripps was processing the fact that his best mate was about to become a rival. No one saw the price tag coming though. 3 first-rounders? That's not just a trade, that's a statement. That's Sydney saying, we're going all in. And Carlton, they're ganking on those draft picks to rebuild their future. Trade deadline day, October 31st. The clock's ticking down and the entire footy world is glued to their screens. The Swans and Carlton had been negotiating for days, but nothing was locked in. Haywood was already part of the discussions, a proven forward who'd been solid for Sydney but wasn't untouchable. Then Ollie Florent's name got thrown into the mix. 2 good players heading to Carlton, but it wasn't enough. Carlton wanted more. They wanted compensation that reflected losing a 2-time Coleman medalist. And that's when Sydney did something extraordinary.
3 first-round picks. Think about what that means. The Swans gave up their future draft hand, essentially mortgaging their rebuild potential to land Curnow right now. That's not a club hedging its bets. That's a club that believes it's 1 or 2 pieces away from a premiership, and Charlie Curnow is the missing link. When the deal was announced, the reaction was immediate. Swans fans erupted. Carlton fans? Devastated. Social media went into meltdown. And in the middle of it all was Patrick Cripps, the Blues captain who just lost his best mate. But here's the thing, Cripps didn't lash out. He didn't play the victim. He didn't pretend everything was fine either. He did something that shows exactly the kind of leader he is. He caught up with Charlie multiple times, and instead of trying to guilt him into staying or making it about himself, Cripps told his mate exactly what he needed to hear. I just want to see the big fella play really good footy and be happy. Let that sit with you for a moment. Your best mate, your star forward, the bloke you've shared 1,000 moments with on and off the field, and you're telling him you hope he succeeds somewhere else. That's not weakness, that's maturity. That's understanding that sometimes what's best for your mate isn't what's best for your football club. And Cripps wasn't afraid to say it out loud. The footy world didn't know what to make of it at first. Calm fans were gutted, and you can't blame them. Losing a player of Curnow's calibre at 28 years old, that's supposed to be when forwards are at their absolute peak. Some supporters felt betrayed. I was understood, but hated it anyway. The Carlton faithful had watched Curnow battle through injuries, watched him come back stronger, watched him dominate, and now he was gone. Swans supporters, on the other hand, couldn't believe their luck. This is the kind of signing you dream about, a ready-made superstar who can walk straight into the team and make an immediate impact. The excitement at Sydney was palpable, and it still is. But it was Cripps' comments that really cut through the noise. When he spoke to SEN Afternoons, you could hear the emotion in his voice. Not anger, not bitterness, just genuine care for a mate who made a tough decision. He said, "It's always tough seeing a good mate go. He's been big for us. But at the end of the day, we've got a core group that can push us forward." He wasn't pretending it didn't hurt, but he also wasn't making it about himself. He wished Charlie well, admitted he wants to beat him when they play, but ultimately hopes Curnow finds what he's looking for in Sydney. And then there's the AFL. Oh, you better believe they saw the goldmine sitting right in front of them. Within days of the trade being finalised, the fixture was released. Guess who's playing an opening round? Sydney hosting Carlton. March 5th, the SCG. Charlie Curnow's first game in the red and white against his former club, with Patrick Cripps lining up on the other side. Absolute scenes. Cripps even laughed about it. He said, "It's funny the AFL, they might have put that on purpose, I reckon." Yeah, mate, they definitely did, and it's gonna be box office. This trade changes everything for Sydney, and I mean everything. We've already got one of the best midfields in the competition. We've got elite defenders, but up forward, we've been missing that one genuine superstar who can take over a game on their own. Charlie Curnow is that player. Think about what he brings. He's a marking beast. He's a goal-kicking machine. He's clutch. And now he's feeding off the dominance of our midfield. The thought of Isaac Heaney, Chad Warner and Errol Golden delivering the ball to Curnow inside 50, that's the stuff of premierships are made of. For Carlton, this is about the long game. 3 first-round picks give them the chance to rebuild through the draft. They're banking on developing the next generation of stars. It's a gamble, but it's one they felt they had to take. And for Curnow himself, this is his shot. He's come to a club that's proven it can win, a club with a culture of success, a club that's hungry. If there was ever a time for him to grab that premiership medallion, it's now. This reminds me when Lance Franklin crossed from Hawthorn to Sydney. The shock, the price tag, the expectation. But he delivered. And if Curnow can do the same, we're not just contenders, we're flag favourites. One moment, one decision, one trade that changed 2 clubs forever. Charlie Curnow's a Sydney Swan now, and for Patrick Cripps, watching his best mate chase a dream in red and white, all he can do is respect it. That's footy, that's life. And when March 5th rolls around and those 2 mates line up on opposite sides of the SCG, it's going to be one of the most emotional, intense, and unmissable moments of the season. Because at the end of the day, this is what being a Swans fan is all about. The big moments, the bold moves, and the belief that this year could be the one. Let me know in the comments, is Curnow the final piece of the puzzle for a Swans premiership? Hit like if you're backing the boys no matter what, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Swans.